Hi folks, welcome to the Sabres Chronicles. This is a video on this channel that discusses the Buffalo Sabres history on this day. So we're going to look at a few clips I'm going to talk about, because the Sabres on this day in history played 23 games, and here is one of them. All right, January the 14th, 2006 is the one I picked out. The Sabres won 10-1. Let's look at that box score. And no, not because of the actual score. That is not why I picked this one out, but we'll discuss that in a sec. All right, here is the box score. McKee opens it up at 106 from Greer and Drury. Then Drury scores 13 seconds later from Daniel Pye and Mike Greer. 2-0 Buffalo, 79 seconds in. Then the Sabres make it 3-0 at 4:33 from Kotelik and Johan Hesch. And Connolly are in on that one. Then Johan Hesch gets his first of the game from Kotelik at 10:46. Johan Hesch scores again at 17:06 to make it 5-0 from Connolly and Drury. Then Cowan replies from Dustin Brown, you see a Mike Weaver, to make it 5-1 at the end of one. Who would have known that day that Dustin Brown would have 2 Stanley Cup rings and none of these Buffalo Sabres would ever win one together that day? You never would have thought it. Okay, then early in the second, 6:13, Hesch scores again for his hat trick to make it 6-1 from Numminen and Kotelik. Then Pominville gets his first of the game from Connolly and Drury at 11:16 on the power play also. Makes it 7-1, and then to close out the period, Pominville scores shorthanded, unassisted, shorthanded his second of the game, going into the third. Third period, 14:48 on the power play, Pominville scores again for his hat trick, also from Afinogenov and Derek Roy. And to close out the game, Daniel Pye gets his first from Novotny and Mike Greer, 10-1 Sabres final. It's not about the blowout. I just talked about blowouts in a video recently. It's not the reason why, guys. No, it's not the reason why I'm doing this video. It's because of the significance of 2 players getting a hat trick in the same game. That's why I picked this one today. And I researched it. I want to get more into this and say, okay, I noticed 2 hat tricks, 2 different players. How many times have we done that in our history? And it took my interest. Weird things that will grip me and get me going, and that was one of them today. So I did some research, guys, and this is really interesting. 12 times in our history, we had 2 players get a hat trick in the same game. 12 times in our entire history. That was one of them that you just seen right there. We did it again recently after that one. I think it was 2008 we did it again. I can't remember who it was, but we did do it again in 2008. So 12 times in our entire history, we've done that in a game. 2 guys both get a hat trick. Here's something that surprised me, though. We actually lost one of those games, 8-6, against the North Stars, December the 2nd, 1972. And Rennie Robert, Jerry Meehan each got a hat trick in the game for all our 6 goals, and they scored 8. This was at the Met Center in Bloomington. I was in Minnie, the game, so it was a wild one. And Minnesota won the game 8-6. And also, this has happened once in our playoff history. That was on April 24, 2006 versus Philadelphia. You guys might remember after the Briere overtime goal, game 1, the opening game of the playoffs in the 05-06 team, when Briere got the overtime goal, and he had like a dozen shots on goal or something. Buffalo then won game 2 in Buffalo, 8-2, and in that game, that was J.P. Dumo and Jason Pominville each got a hat trick in that game. And that was, again, after the Briere overtime goal, guys. So, what else have we got? Not too much more to talk about here, guys. Won't be a very, very long video. I've covered that. All right, I checked for birthdays. Not many birthdays today, just one. Here we go. Yep, J.J. Peterka. The young man turned 21 today, so happy birthday to him. And let's hope he just stays in Buffalo for a very long time, because I like what this guy brings. Yep, I like what he brings, guys. And you know what? I'm going to probably, guys, I probably will talk a little bit more about some other I kind of got into a hat trick frame of mind today, because I know we've been scoring up, we've been lighting up the net with some hat tricks this year, and I kind of did some digging into that. So I'm going to do some videos later on tonight on hat tricks, where, you know, the Sabres history and things like this, and team history, the best years we had hat tricks. It's going to probably be 2 videos, because it'll be too much in one video to talk about. It'll be too long of a video. So that's it. I'm going to leave it there, guys, for this episode. I think that covers just about everything I wanted to cover. I just found that really interesting, that 12 times in our history, that was one of them. The Sabres twice had 2 guys, not twice, had 2 players get hat tricks in a game, which just not something I even thought about till today. Go figure, you know? All right, guys, done for this one. See you in the next one.